Hello and welcome. This is Branama TV. I'm Rabelang Musala. Children get missing each day all over the world. In many countries, there are records, but in many others, statistics on missing children are not even available. And unfortunately, even available statistics may be inaccurate due to several factors like incorrect reporting or recording and deletion of records once a case is closed. South Africa has one of the highest rates of missing children in the world, as every 5 hours a child goes missing in the country. That's according to Missing Children South Africa. Joining me on the show today is Bianca van Astegen, the National Coordinator of Missing Children South Africa. Bianca says 77% of those reported missing are found and 23% are not found or are found dead. What is a typical day like at the Missing Children SA?
This is actually quite a good question because it's not an 8 to 5 job. We have got an emergency number that's run 24/7 every single day. So typically a day in our lives is very unexpected, depending on how many cases get reported to us, everything that needs to be done to find the child, assist with the kidnapping the kidnappings that are happening. So it's quite a difficult task to do every day, but we're doing our best and to do everything that we can to bring the child safely back home, or the person that has gone missing, because this is really a problem in South Africa of children going missing, kidnappings that have escalated, and unfortunately, South Africa being declared as a human trafficking hub. We get cases reported to us daily. So we as an organization approximately assist with between 60 to 90 cases and even more in a month. In 2013, the Missing Persons Bureau of South Africa put out that a child goes missing every 5 hours in South Africa. But as I mentioned, that was actually in 2013. Unfortunately, we don't have any latest stats.
Are you working on any a case of a child that is missing at the moment?
Yes, we've got quite a few cases currently that we are still assisting with that has unfortunately the children have not been found, and we're doing our utmost to get the flyers all over and to do everything we can possible to find the child and reunite them safely with their families.
Do you often find them alive if you get to find them?
Yes, we've got about a 77% success rate within our organization of finding our children. Unfortunately, the 23% is either found deceased or have not yet been found. We've got many cold cases, unfortunately, that still have not been solved up until today. But we as an organization never give up on any of our missing persons cases. We always refeature the flyers, make sure the awareness is still created around those cold cases, because someone somewhere knows something, and we'd like to give the families closure they need.
Who is the longest child that has been missing since?
Our oldest case that we've got dates back to 1988 of a 13-year-old boy that unfortunately has still not been found up until today. But we've got many cases, that date back to in the 90s that, have still not been found, unfortunately, but still we are creating awareness around that. We ran a campaign called #StillNotFound to make sure that those flyers are recirculated and everything is done possible to find some leads and possible find them and give the family some closure.
How do we work with children to protect them and to make sure that they are able to protect themselves too?
So we have educational programs where we go into our communities and to schools where we teach our children on child safety. But it's not just our children that need to be educated. Our parents and guardians and teachers in our communities also need to be educated on child safety. Child safety is very important, and we need to teach our children from a young age on what to look out for, the signs when they could be in danger, and what to do in certain situations. So what we always tell them is to, especially when it comes to being taken, for instance, in a kidnapping, to draw as much attention as possible, to kick and scream and shout and bite and wave and draw as much attention to them as possible. But as we always say, you know, it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a village to keep our children safe. So parents, guardians, community members, we've all got the responsibility to look out for each other's children and to keep our children safe.
Do we have any signs that one could do, the not so obvious signs that a child could do to raise an alarm if they are being followed, or if they feel that they're not safe?
Yes, as I mentioned, I mean, if you possibly can in the situation, to draw as much attention, to kick and scream and wave. But yes, sometimes, unfortunately, children are too scared to, you know, and also get threatened if in a situation like that. So we've got a signal, a hand signal that is doing the rounds at the moment that we're trying to teach our children, and that is the help sign. So it's basically opening your hand, putting the thumb in the palm of your hand and closing your hand. That is asking for help. So I'll just repeat that. It is placing the thumb in the palm of your hand, closing your fingers into a fist, and usually we ask them to do it behind their back or somewhere that the person that's got them does not see they are asking for help. But also, if someone walks past you, if a child is being taken by someone and another person walks past you, just touch them or try and make eye contact and draw their attention. And especially in our shopping malls, if they feel unsafe and feel someone's following them, we always educate them to go into a shop, especially where there are CCTV cameras and also personnel that are dressed in uniforms, such as, for instance, a KFC or any other shop where, you know, a person is in a uniform with the name of that shop, and go and seek assistance.
From your record, which gender is more likely to get abducted?
Fortunately, abduction does not have any age or gender anymore. It really can happen to anyone, whether it's children or adults. Obviously, girls are more vulnerable to this, but boys always think they are untouchable and it will never happen to them. But unfortunately, it does, especially when it comes to our human trafficking. We need to keep in mind, as soon as we hear the word human trafficking, people instinctively just think, you know, it is girls that are taken for human trafficking purposes. Unfortunately, that's not true. Depending on what the victim is taken for, depends on what the gender, age would be of the person or the child that is taken. But boys in general are taken for forced labor when it comes to human trafficking. So boys and girls are just as vulnerable, and so are we as adults.
Where do most child abduction happen or occur?
Unfortunately, today, it's happened everywhere. You know, it happens at school, it happens at shopping malls, it happens down at our beaches, it happens right in front of our houses where our children are playing. So it can really happen to anyone at any time, at any place. We have seen an increase in hijackings where children have been taken. But yes, like I said, there's really no place where it cannot happen. It happens everywhere. So parents and communities need to be vigilant about their areas, surroundings, know who's in the community. If they do suspect something or do suspect someone suspicious in the area, please report it immediately so it can be investigated.
Besides calling the police, which number can a child or any person could call for help?
Yes, what we do teach our children is the 10111 of the police. That is actually very important because it's much easier for a young child to remember it. Once again, we do this by a hand sign. So we put it like this. So it's 10111. So that is what we teach our very young children, because it's an easy number for them to remember, and especially with the hand sign. But we've got an emergency number, and please note this is for emergencies only, and that is 072-647-7464. It's a 24-hour emergency number where people are more than welcome to contact us should they find themselves in a situation of a child that has gone missing or a loved one that has gone missing. But please note this is an emergency line, and we need to keep the line open for those emergency calls that need to come through. If anyone has any other questions, please visit our website. It's www.missingchildren.org.za. There's some wonderful safety tips on our website. There's other ways. Our email addresses are on there to drop us a mail if you've got any questions.
You mentioned raising awareness at schools. Tell us about that. How is it going?
Unfortunately, COVID has made that a bit difficult for us in the last 2 to 3 years. So we're starting those again now, but COVID is still in and around us, so it makes it a bit more difficult. But we're trying our best to get to the schools to educate the children, especially from a young age, to teach them child safety. And also not just the children, but the schools themselves on how to prevention measures for children to wait when they have to wait for their parents, and especially the schools to make sure that if a child needs to be picked up by someone else and not a family member, the mom or the father, that they know the person, that something has been arranged prior to the time and the school is aware of it. And just one of the safety tips that also comes into play here is if you are unable to pick your child up from school, is we've got what we call a family exclusive password that is created between you as parents and your child. So if you are unable to pick your child up from school and you have to send someone else, the child has the right to ask that person the family exclusive password. If they don't know that, then they know the parents did not send them. But this is just safety measures, that we are trying to implement into our parents, our children, our schools, our teachers, to prevent any child from being kidnapped or getting lost or going missing from a school ground.
The law has changed around the time frame of when should we or I should report a child should they go missing. At times, parents do get turned back if they report a child immediately. What should we do if one faces such?
Yes, there's absolutely no waiting period in reporting a child or a person as missing. People still believe they have to wait 24 hours. That does not exist. It needs to be reported immediately, as the first 24 hours to 48 hours is crucial, especially when a child goes missing, because after that 48 hours, a child could be anywhere in the world should they fall victim to human trafficking. So if you do find yourself in a situation where you are told to wait 24 hours, please either contact us at Missing Children South Africa or demand to speak to the station commander of the police station, as the police know that there is no waiting period to report a missing person. And rather be safe than sorry, even if you think that your child might just be at a friend's house and, oh, don't worry, they'll come back a bit later. Don't take that chance. Rather be safe than sorry. Open a case so it can be investigated and the child can be safely reunited with their family, rather than something that happens to them that we don't want it to happen.
When reporting a child or any person who has gone missing, what are some of the things that I have to put out, like clothes and yeah?
Yes, the most important thing is to always have a recent photograph of your child with you at all times. So when opening a case with the police, it's called a SAPS 55 form. That's your missing persons case. So you'll give a description of where the child was last seen and as much detail as possible. If there's eyewitnesses, if it was a kidnapping, for instance, if there's eyewitness statements, the description of the car, for instance, and then also hair color, eye color, height and weight, and also the clothes that the child or the person was last seen wearing. And then, like I mentioned, please, a recent photograph is necessary. We've also got what we call an interim ID kit that's available to download from our website. It's basically a form that you can fill in as a parent and keep for safekeeping. It's got all the information on that is needed when having to open a missing persons case. So you can just download it, fill it in. You're more than welcome to go to your nearest SAP station to have the child's fingerprinting done on there, and also attach a photograph. Keep it in your handbag, make another one, keep it at home, just for safekeeping, should you find yourself in that situation that you really need it. But we do urge parents to please update this every 6 months to a year, as the child's height and weight and everything starts changing the older they get. So make sure that you keep it updated. And yes, hopefully it will never happen. But if you do find yourself in an emergency situation, you've got all that necessary information on hand immediately.
What are some of the factors, if there are any, that makes it hard for people like Missing Children SA in finding a missing child?
Yes, there's a lot of stuff that actually contributes to making it difficult for us, especially when someone only reports the case a few days after the child has gone missing. Because now we sit with a child that's gone missing 4 or 5 days later, it only gets reported to us. And then the search cannot start in the area exactly where the child was last seen. Where if it gets reported immediately, we can start searching in that vicinity immediately where the child was last seen. So that is once again where the waiting period comes in, to please not wait to open a missing persons case. Also, we get little descriptions sometimes on some of the cases of the parents not noticing where their children were at the time, or whom they were with, or what they were wearing. And those are very important, and especially the photograph. We've even had cases where parents don't even have a photograph of their own child. And that makes it difficult, because we need to get the face out there so the public can assist us by sharing our flyer and know who are we looking for. And something also that made it very difficult for us, especially during COVID, and that is the mask wearing. So we put out the flyer of the missing person or the missing child, but unfortunately the distinctive features of a face is now disguised with a mask. So that makes it very difficult for us. So that is where clothes description comes in. That is very important now when it comes to a missing person. Please do not wait to open a missing persons case. It is of utmost importance to open it immediately. Contact us at Missing Children South Africa so we can assist. We do urge the public to please stand with us, support us, make a donation. Anyone that would like to become a monthly sponsor, please visit our website, drop us an email, and be our superhero. Our country is in dire need of support when it comes to children that have gone missing. We've had an increase in kidnappings happen, and unfortunately we have been declared as a human trafficking hub. So things are really getting out of hand. Our services we render to the public is free of charge, but we still need funding for the resources and running cost of our organization to keep on assisting these families and reunite the missing children and persons with their families.
It's important to report a child missing right away, and also give all the necessary information like height, what they were wearing, and a recent photo. This will help in finding them quicker, and every minute counts. So let's be vigilant at all times and learn all the important tools to help protect children. Always remember the sign that Bianca showed us and the child helpline. I'm Raphael Musala. Thanks for watching. Until next time.